I'm very glad to be here in this beautiful library. Thank you very much, Rachel, for giving me opportunity to be here and to talk about my work. And also, I'm very thankful to RACC. It is the Russian American Cultural Center, who invited me and also gave me opportunity to show my books and to talk about my last book. My last book is over here. It was published this year, and it is first my book in English, because before that I published only in Russian. This book, it is short stories I published in 1980 here in New York, just a year after I came from Soviet Union, from Moscow. This is this book is it's my partially bio, and it calls Jewish Theater Saying Goodbye but Not Leaving. And this book of last year, it is Былое и былые, it is bygones and those from the past. Interview, because I'm a professional journalist, and while I work as a journalist in Radio Free Europe, Radio Liberty, I interviewed maybe thousands of people, politicians, presidents, including President Clinton, current President Trump, Russian President Gorbachev, but mostly I specialized and enjoyed talking to actors, writers, musicians, composers, etc., singers. Among them, a lot of my favorite people like Charles Aznavour, Marcel Marceau, Václav Havel, Edward Albee, etc. Many of them fantastic, wonderful, very smart, and extremely talented people. But over here in my last book, it is from somewhere over there to somewhere over here. It is short stories. I would call them partially Jewish short stories, because it is, I will explain by reading my author's forward. Again, I'm sorry, my English is very broken. Sometimes pronunciation is terrible, I know. And I made some mistakes, but I know that New Yorkers are very kind to immigrants and very understandable. So I hope that you will understand me or correct my mistakes. So my forward. This book is a collection of stories written in various genres at various times and in various countries. Some were born in the early 1970s in Moscow. These tales reflect the author's realization of his imprisonment and the absurdity of the country that was building its version of communism. In 1976, the final decision to escape the Soviet Union and run as far as possible was made. As far as possible was the United States of America, where my mother, a former actress of the Moscow State Jewish Yiddish Theater Gosset, and myself arrived in February 1979, February 13. My observation of immigrants from communist countries to their new life of free initiative, free enterprise, and personal responsibility provided food for both funny and sad monologues, as well as contemplations of my own place in the new country, which I presented in rhythmic prose. Still, even here, I had encountered elements of the absurd that evidently accompany our lives regardless of place and time. Through many stories, monologues, and fairy tales runs the theme of the Jewish and particularly Russian Jewish identity with its obvious and underlying burden of centuries of persecution of the Jewish people. The author, myself, attempts to tint the humorous monologues with a Jewish accent. Jewish tradition is also reflected in the elements of a parable that the author employs in sack race, wagon, house of mirrors, and several others which come close to being play scripts. The Russian identity can be seen in some stories also, especially the ones that include elements of Russian folklore. A number of true stories describe events that the author either participated in or was a witness to. Finally, the collection includes 2 short stories by the author's mother, Nechama Sirotina. There are 2 reasons for this. First, to preserve them in print. Second, to show the continuity of the gift through generations. It is also a respectful bow of the son in remembrance of and gratitude to his mother, whose short life was filled with suffering. I hope something I clarify myself and what this book about. But if you have any questions, you can ask and interrupt me. It's okay, it's fine. By the way, about myself a little bit more. In the beginning of my professional life, I was an actor. I ended drama school in Moscow. Then immediately I studied as a director of drama, and then I became a playwright and journalist. When I came here, I explained why, because I wanted to be independent. I understood that actors are always depend on play, director, newspaper with review of the play and actors, etc. It's a very dependable profession. So I decided to become director, to be less dependent, and wanted actors depend on me. But when I became a director, I understand that it's a very dependable profession also, because director depends on actors, how they will play, playwright, and administration, and in Soviet Union, Communist Party, censorship, etc., etc. So I decided directing and acting, it's not the best way for my life in the future. I decided to become a writer. When I came here, I started also as an actor in the United States, in New York. I tried to play in some movies, a lot of commercials, even in New York Yiddish theater, like Volksbühne Theater, National Jewish Theater. But I found myself in Radio Free Europe as a journalist, and I loved this job, as I said. And now I'm writing about my past mostly, not present. But writing the past, it is, to say the truth, not only in the past, about the past. It's about current situation, absurdity of our life. And I would like to start from one story. what illustrates what I told you right now. It was mentioned already, this short story, sack race. The coach is talking to the athlete. You have to get it. Ever heard the word must? That's not my area, the athlete argues. I'm a sprinter, and this is marathon. Well, you can of course say no, like Hurwitz did. Did you know him? Did I know him? I still know him. So you did. What's wrong? Has something happened to him? The athlete asked, concerned. No, he's fine. He refused to run the marathon. Nothing wrong with him. He just isn't getting paid and was imprisoned. The athlete paled. All right, I'll run, he conceded. The team had gathered. Before the start, everyone was issued a sack. What's that for? To carry the snacks in? To carry you, get in. It's a sack marathon. Didn't you know? A sack marathon? What does that mean? Why? I don't, but he ran, or rather hopped. Alongside him hopped good, solid men, capable athletes. What kind of marathon is this? Who had the brilliant idea? The athlete, a champion sprinter, resented. This sack race is stupid. Stupid, someone agreed. The fellow hoppers nodded their heads and grumbled. We have better things to do. Whoever came up with this can go hop himself. Right. Why do they make us to do it? Enough. Drop the sacks and let's go home. The racers shouted, and one hand in the air while the other held up the sack. Well, are we done then? The athlete asked carefully. Yeah, the one next to him agreed. You first. Why me? Well, who else? You? No way, dude. I'm not dumb. I'll drop mine and the rest of you won't. Everyone will look like everyone else and I'm going to be naked. Nope. I'll drop mine when you guys drop yours. Then you take it off, the athlete said to another man. Why? The other one said warily. I'm fine in this sack. It's like a free uniform. I'm warm and not bothered by flies. I saw you protested the loudest. Me? I'm like the other guys. They shouted, and so did I. I'm always with other guys. He hopped ahead with enthusiasm, trying to distance himself from our hero. Listen, the athlete asked the runner in spectacles. You look like a smart person and should understand that running in sack is ridiculous. I know that. Why won't you drop it? I believe your question is a trick question to some extent, and I could leave it unanswered, but I will answer it. Yes, running in sacks is awkward at first, if you haven't done it before. Yes, it is absurd, maybe even idiotic. But listen, if I take the sack off, I'll be ahead of everyone else. I'll take the lead. This can be misconstrued. And who am I by myself, without the team, without any roots, so to speak? A tumbleweed. Besides, many have tried running without sacks. Where are they now? Running in sacks is for us. It's familiar. It's what we do. We are proud of it. We are all in sack together, hopping ahead to victory, to the bright light of the finish. The smart guy pulled his sack up to his chin and hopped away. How about you, man? The athlete asked a hulk of a guy with a shaved head. How's you run? It's bull crap. Really? The champion seemed to have found a fellow rebel. Why's that? What kind of competition is this? In sacks. The last time we played soccer, and they tied our feet together with a rope and glued our arms to to our heads. That was a real game. And the winners got a case of vodka. This one, no fun at all. Well, they do say there will be a bottle of booze at the finish line. That's why I'm running. Ahead was a huge muddy puddle. There was no way to go around it, so the crowd ran straight into the mud. That's really not bad at all, rejoiced the first one to come out on the other side, the leader. I'm actually starting to like it. Hardship builds character. Leaving muddy footprints, hoping the SAC team ran on. Ah, screw it, the athlete thought. I'll get to the finish line and leave sports for good. He had no idea that the SAC race had no end. I hope now more understandable what I'm talking about. This is my, I could say, favorite form of talking to the readers, because it is not only Russia, communist Russia, Europe, Asia, United States, whatever, and not time. It's like Bertolt Brecht said, it could happen in any place, in any country, in any time. From the same cycle, I have another story, very close. It's like continuation of what I said already. A new carnival ride. A new original ride. You won't regret it. Only a coin and any one of you, regardless of your color or weight, can become a blue air balloon and fly wherever you want. Only a coin, an all-new ride. A crowd gathered around the barker. Wow, fly wherever you want. Isn't that everyone's lifelong dream? Someone in the crowd remembered that this ride was a great success a year before. Many brave people dared to fulfill their dream. Strangely, though, none of them came back. Why was that? Did they end up in a place so nice that they didn't want to return? Or, oh, the horror, were they dead? Did they at least write? A few excited letters at first, then nothing. Maybe they realized they made a mistake and are too embarrassed to admit it. Or they are so happy that they don't want to share with us. Why wouldn't they? I think I have a coin to spare. Getting to the ticket booth was not easy. Many wanted to try the ride. The stronger ones broke through, dropped a coin in the machine, and the booth doors opened for him. A human walked in, and after a minute, a blue balloon appeared from an opening at the top. One by one, the balloons rose high into the sky. They were very proud of themselves, puffed up, and their wrinkles smoothed out. They watched those who remained on the ground condescendingly, like a human watches airworms. One balloon rose to the top of the tallest tree. Wow, he thought, it's beautiful. I can see for all around. I like here. I don't know what comes next. I think I'll stay here. It hooked into a tree branch. Stupid, the other thought. He does not dream big. We are not going to stop. Onward and skyward. They floated on. They stopped looking down, and so did not see some boys using their slingshots to shoot down the balloon that was stuck in the tree. They could not see it, but they did hear an odd sound, like a balloon popping. They flew on. Now they were nearing the top of the tallest TV tower in town. One balloon sat on the point at the antenna. My goodness, how wonderful, he marveled. I feel like a bird. I want to build a nest up here on this antenna at the top of happiness. And the added bonus is I'm going to be the first to watch new TV programs. This balloon could not know that it would cause TV interference. A worker would climb the tower and cursing profusely reach the balloon, let the air out of it, and toss it into the dumpster. The rest of the balloons kept rising. They flew toward the sun. There were so many of them that they formed a cloud, a blue cloud that covered the sun. The people on the ground rejoiced when they saw a cloud, even a blue one. There had been no rain for a long time. The earth dried up and cracked, exhausted from the heat. Finally, there was a cloud. But what if the wind blew it away? What if it did not produce rain? The people brought out a cannon, a special cannon that shoots into a cloud to make it rain. There was a boom, and it started to rain. It was real rain. But it was strange. It tasted salty, like tears. Short story, An Immigrant and Tsimis. Americans believe that on a holiday evening, nobody should be alone. I would add that nobody should be alone on any other evening either. A new immigrant was invited to a holiday dinner with an American family. We have to introduce these Russians into our life, they thought. We must make them feel at home. He was invited, so he showed up. A dog with an odd name, Tsimis, greeted him with joyful barking. The hostess chattered in English. The host, with great care, helped the guest out of his coat. The guest sat where he was pointed and accepted a wine glass. Now he was supposed to hold a conversation. That was something he couldn't do. Damn English, he thought, guessing at what was being said and pretending to understand. He laughed when everybody laughed. His face became serious when everyone else's face did. However, the game soon exhausted him. He wanted to be understood and to talk heart to heart. He suffered from his mutiness and begged for help. The help arrived in the form of Tsimis. The dog approached the guest, sniffed the human's leg, stood on his hind legs, put his front paws in the guest's lap, and looked the man in the eyes. How alike were they at that moment? Two creatures lacking the gift of speech. Still, Tsimis had some skills that the man did not possess. The dog could express himself through his eyes, his bark, his wagging tail, or a whine. The guest could not dare do any of that. It is not considered polite among humans to whine, bark, or wag tails. So the man, trapped in a three-piece suit and a tie that was attempting to strangle him, suffered quietly. Tsimis understood everything but could not speak. The man could not neither speak nor understand. The host decided to demonstrate Tsimis' abilities to the guest. He showed the dog a piece of meat and began giving commands. Tsimis, eyes on the treat, lay down, sat, stood on his hind legs, crawled, and almost danced, all just for a piece of meat. And the commands were in English. Tsimis would understand them even if the language was that of clapping. The guest envied Tsimis, not because of the meat itself, but because the dog had worked for the treat and earned it. The man had studied this doggone English at school, then with tutor, and now in an ELL class, and all to no avail. Tsimis felt bad for the man. He ate his well-earned piece of meat, but felt kind of awkward about it. The dog came up to the man and lay at his feet to show his friendship and understanding. He did not lay at the feet of his master, who gave him meat, but at the feet of a man new to America, helpless and alone, like a stray dog. The guest was grateful for the dog's consideration, for his solidarity, and Tsimis fully realized his responsibility for this inexperienced stranger who could not even bark to express himself. That holiday night, the immigrant felt a little less lonely. Also, I wrote some fairy tale. For example, this one. It is very short. Once there lived a very smart but ugly prince. He met a beautiful princess and fell in love. The princess, unfortunately, was not smart. She said, "Why would I need to love? Why would I need the love of such an ugly man?" The prince decided to win the princess' heart. He wrote interesting books, built grand palaces, and invented wondrous machines. Years went by. The smart prince and the beautiful princess saw each other again. Only the princess wasn't beautiful any longer. She was old, stooped, wrinkled, and had no teeth. "See," said the smart prince, "I may be ugly, but everyone knows me and loves me. I will always be remembered because my creation will last centuries. Who remembers your beauty? Everyone has already forgotten." "You're right," replied the stupid princess, "but you forget that everything you created for me, for my beauty. My beauty will live as long as your creation live." "We'll call it a draw," said the prince. And another fairy tale, one more. How a storyteller won half a kingdom. Once there lived a storyteller, and he needed a new computer, but he had no money. What was he do? He went to the king and told him about his problem. The king said, "I won't lend you money, but I'll let you earn it." "How?" "Tell me a story. I want a tale that is entirely fictional. Your kind likes to stick real life in your tales. I want a pure fairy tale. Can you do that?" "Want a bet?" "Sure. I bet half my kingdom. Deal. Now, Your Highness, listen closely. Once there lived a servant. He led a modest life and worked honestly. One day, he decided to buy a soccer team. So, he did it." "What? Just like that?" "Yep. And with honest money?" "Yep. That, my friend, is pure fiction." "Correct. You owe me half a kingdom." Also, I would like to read you what I wrote in the last page, cover, back cover. "This book is cure for all. While reading it, fall mood becomes good, and good mood becomes great. The sleepless doze off, and the sleepy perk up. The mistress of the house will fully appreciate your sense of humor when, instead of the usual expensive perfume, flowers, sweets, or champagne, you give her this small book. Oh, how she will laugh. If you enjoy this book, tell your friends. They will also purchase and enjoy it. If you do not like this book, tell your enemies. Let them buy it and also suffer. You can read this book on public transportation or on your lunch break, alone or aloud to your friends. You can read it over and over or not read it at all. You will truly enjoy any of that. Thank you. Thank you very much. I hope to see you next year, maybe.
Oh, I hope